Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, we'll be talking about a potential for TBC World of Warcraft to actually be going into beta sometime very soon. Of course, it'll be in 2021, but it looks like some more information has come out that potentially TBC could be very soon here for us to test, at least in the beta version. We also have Blizzard mentioning that they're going to be removing the possibility for people to re-roll gear, like you would get those tokens to re-roll items for extra chances, because, well, Blizzard thinks that the current system they have in Shadowlands is going to be more than enough. Also, when is Prepatch? We have no idea. As of making this video, Blizzard didn't give any official announcement, so there's a good chance by the time this video releases, we'll finally have the actual date, hopefully. But Blizzard did put up a post saying that the seasonal stuff will be going away very soon. The fact the pre-patch is upon us in just a short amount of time, except how long do we have to wait for it? Blizzard didn't really specify. So let's start with the big news of TBC Beta. The stuff we'll be talking about here about the beta isn't confirmed by Blizzard, so this isn't going to be 100% relevant. However, the people talking about it and the sources that they claim, at least they have more than one source, so hopefully this at least will hint us at a potential in the future. We're going to gravitate to Nano Nost on Twitter, who is apparently one of the guys who worked on the Nostarius project. And there's a good chance if you played World of Warcraft and even looked into some classic private servers from back in the day, you might have found Nostarius at some point or another. Update, I have a second source confirmed to the plans for Phase 6 Classic is rollout in early December 20th. I also had the same source confirmed plans for TBC Beta in March 21st. And there may be a chance a TBC launch after that. May be sooner than expected. I'm not really well versed with Classic, but I believe that the Phase 6 will roll out next Rammus, as there's another post by them, haven't confirmed it yet, but the hottest rumors for Classic WoW next Rammus released is planned for early December, with the TBC Beta rolling out March-April 2021. Sooner than expected, but we will see. So from here on, all we can essentially do is speculate on what we think this might be like, and what do we think about the idea if TBC Beta were to come out in March and April. Me personally, I looked into TBC because I didn't play way back then, but the idea of what TBC brought is awesome in my eyes. First of all, Blizzard were able to expand the talent tree and change up certain abilities and talents for certain classes and specs to create more viability. Like for right now, if you were to play a Shadow Priest, there's a good chance you're not the strongest class in the raid tier. Like a Frost Mage and Molten Core, or even Warlocks are probably better casters, but Shadow Priest actually had some play into TBC. It's not that TBC fixed a lot of these specs, but they definitely gave them more tools to be competitive. So at least there was a lot more opportunity for players to shine. And even if someone wanted to play the quote-unquote meme spec, they at least had more tools to do it. Also, TBC added arenas, and a lot of us like PvP, a lot of us like arenas. Makes you wonder what kind of version of the arenas they will bring, because I'm sure TBC had a bunch of variations of arenas and tuning and balancing, and I'm pretty sure what they will do is very similar to Classic. They'll settle on a specific patch, maybe the last patch of TBC, and kind of do the balancing and all the features off of that patch with all the damage and tuning. Maybe adjust a couple things for bugs, because I'm pretty sure back in the day TBC had quite a bit of bugs. But it would be cool though to see arenas and add some sort of like a competitive feel to it and whatnot. Another interesting fact that you may have not known, but arenas back in TBC, certain arenas had this dust storm. I believe it might have been in the Grand Arena. A dust storm would kind of randomly form or sometimes form from time to time. And if you were to stand in the dust storm, you actually could die, as the thing actually would do damage to you. I wonder if they'll release a version of the arenas with those dust storms or not. Again, not a TBC professional, didn't play back then, but I've seen some footage of the dust storms in the arenas, which I found hilarious, and I wonder what kind of version of TBC arenas would Blizzard put out. Then we have Karazhan, and someone who played a lot of Legion, where Karazhan was one of the most popular dungeons out there. Really cool thematically, awesome boss fights. Bringing Karazhan back, I think, would be also really cool. A lot of people seem to have enjoyed Karazhan the Raid back in TBC. It was really thematic and had very unique boss fights and really unique enemies and abilities. I mean, you fight from theaters to horses to demons to a chess match. It's interesting. And someone who played Legion and played a lot in Karazhan, going to TBC and even leveling through TBC, I think it would be interesting to see a version of Karazhan that was current content, but that was a different version than what we have currently in Legion, I would very much be interested in. Then there's also a question of leveling in TBC. How would that work out? How would leveling work? Would TBC and Classic be different games where you have to start from level 1 and level to level 70? Or can you maybe copy your character from Classic into TBC to continue your experience? Or do you transfer your character from Classic into TBC and you will leave Classic? Does Classic become TBC? Or is there going to be two versions of the game? Like, how is all this going to work? Personally, I think it would be interesting to see what kind of feedback the community that plays Classic and is excited for TBC, which route would they want to go, because this could be a perfect opportunity for a collaborative experience between the developers and the players. So not a guarantee that TBC is coming out, but from the reports we have from Twitter, potential is there. And if Nano Nost is someone who is to be trusted, or at least his source is someone to be trusted, then potentially we could be hearing more about TBC Beta around March or April, as the tweet suggests. Next, let's talk about the fact that Blizzard has taken out the coin out of a reroll potential for your gear in Shadowlands. The coin will allow you, in general, in BFA, a chance to reroll on the boss. So if there's a certain boss with a specific weapon or trinket that you think is going to be best in slot for your character, you would either commit gold to get a coin, or resources from Order Hall stuff, or I guess ship missions in BFA, or PvP currency, which will actually be useful currency in the next expansion. But the way that Blizzard is changing up the way gear works, they want to give less RNG on random gear and all that nonsense in the next expansion. So on one hand, it might feel like Blizzard is taking away your extra opportunity for that specific piece that you need from a boss, but also it takes away all opportunity for the game to reroll your AP, which, you know, if they kept the coin, they would just give you this as a consolidation reward, AP instead of gear. Instead, Blizzard is going to be doing the weekly vault system, which will be very similar to how you cap your Mythic Plus dungeons. The highest dungeon you do will give you a random gear from your chest. But instead, if you, let's say, like Mythic Pluses, you can keep doing more of them in that week. If you do one Mythic Plus, depending on the level of that dungeon, it'll give you a randomized piece from a dungeon gear loot table. But if you do 5 dungeons, it'll give you 2 choices of gear. You'll still take away 1 piece, but you will still have 2 choices, so you can figure out which one has best secondary stats. If you do 10 dungeons in a week, then you can have 3 options of gear. If, let's say, you love Mythic Pluses and you push. Maybe you like Mythic Pluses, but you don't want to do all 10. So you will do your 5 Mythic Plus, and you'll do a couple bosses. Kill 3 bosses. Here's another piece that you can loot from the weekly vault from the raid table now. But also you have Conquest for PvP capping, and that opens up even more opportunities for you to get loot. So Blizzard wanted for Shadowlands to be less of just throwing random loot at you that ends up being mostly useless with war stats, and rather make gear is gear. All of it is good. Less random gear that's going to be useless clogging up your bank until you sell it or scrap it, but rather give you gear with specific purpose and specific rewards. So it's going to be interesting to see how that will go, but one less chance to reroll is going to be awful for some players that have really bad luck. Finally, we have an update from Blizzard on the pre-patch events. Not telling us exactly the date when the pre-patch will be, because, well, we really don't know why. Normally about this time, Blizzard would give us a 2-week notice of, hey, get your PvP stuff done. Hey, get your Mythic Pluses done ASAP. The pre-patch is coming. Here's the date when the rating will be cut off, to give us an idea when the actual pre-patch will get here. And so far, Blizzard has been oddly silent about it, which got me a little worried, but also mostly antsy. At this point, playing BFA, I haven't really done a lot of that. I'm mostly hanging out in the beta, or maybe even pre-patch, testing out some of the classes, how the balancing is, and enjoying the different changes that Blizzard has done to classes, in comparison to the corruptions that kind of are everywhere in BFA. And honestly, at this point, I'm kind of just hoping that Blizzard releases pre-patch as early as possible, because I think enjoying the game without all the corruptions, with more class updates and these class changes, I feel like would be a breath of fresh air into the BFA version of the game. Yeah, you'll be running same dungeons and same raids, but at least you'll have all this extra class changes and all this novelty coming back to some of the class updates. So hopefully we'll hear something about it soon. But at this point, we could just basically wait for pre-patch to be up anytime, because it could be this week, could be at the end of next week, could be in 2 weeks, and I'm really hoping it's not in 3 weeks. Honestly, the sooner, the better in my opinion. But anyway guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what do you think about TBC and everything else we talked today so far. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.